Hey, welcome to How It Plays. I'm your host, Anthony.
And I'm Francis.
Today we have an update.
A channel update. It's been a while since we did one. So.
Yes. And these always seem to go over well. People like to hear about where the channel's going.
Yeah.
Make sure we're not just putting videos out from the ether and not really interacting with everyone. Like, you have to understand, like, in my mind, I don't know if you think the same way.
Okay.
But in my mind, I don't sit there and think that people ever want to hear us talk about something, like to just ramble on with an update video and be like, all right, so we think we're going to put this out because you want to hear what we have to say. That never crosses my mind.
No, it's always like I feel like we need to address some things.
Yeah, and that's,
And then it goes over and you guys are like, we love the update videos. We love hearing from you guys. So it's like, it's very humbling for us.
It is.
We're just like, really? People want to talk to us?
So we gather our thoughts, and whenever we have something to sort of share with you all, because we're excited about it, then we do one of these update videos, and we have a couple things we want to go through.
Yeah,
and we do see a lot of like recurring comments that come through on some of our videos with general questions that people ask over and over again, because some folks are new to our channel and our space, and they're trying to understand certain things. So we want to make sure we keep clarifying that so you all understand, you know, where we are, where we stand, and, you know, all of those good things.
What's going on?
Yep. So where do we want to begin?
First on the agenda, I think we're going to talk about the website.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about the board game Nexus.
I'm so excited. So as you may or may not know, so we're developing this website. This is like, we renovated a farmhouse a couple years ago. And it was like working with contractors and getting your idea into like a form that was visible, and like you see the kitchen, you pick out the stuff for the kitchen, and then you go into the kitchen and you actually can use the kitchen. Like, it's this whole process before you can actually move in and actually live in this house. So this is giving me like flashbacks to that. Not quite so dramatic and terrible, but very exciting. So it's this process of like going back and forth with developers and making sure that all the functionality that we want you all to have works seamlessly, that everything is loaded in properly, that everything is coded in a way that is like, what we're really looking to do is make this so responsive, so streamlined, and just not clunky at all. So we are taking
I think the proper word we're looking for is sexy.
So,
our vision, at least mine,
it is kind of,
is for it to look sleek
and
sexy. Like, you go in there and it just pops.
Right.
Everything just makes sense.
Yeah.
Icons are where they should be. Pictures are where they're expected to be.
Yeah.
Wording is the way it's supposed to be. It's just it's supposed to feel familiar and shiny. So when you open up that website, you're just like, okay, I know what I'm doing. You don't even have to think about where you want to go. It'll automatically just lead you there.
Right. Like, it should be intuitive. And that's what we're really trying to hone with this.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of, there's obviously like a lot of content to get up, but there's also a lot of this like coding and functionality and exactly how do we want this thing to feel that we're working on and spending tons and tons of time on, and it's all very exciting. We can't wait to share it with you.
And remember,
and we're what's that?
No, go ahead. What? You were going.
I was just gonna say we're getting very close.
Okay.
So.
No, I was just gonna say that you have to keep in mind that this is a place where you're gonna house your collection and track your collection.
Right, exactly.
So there has to be a database of games, right? We want to make sure that on day one you come in and at least the majority of your collection is within our database, right? We've got thousands and thousands of entries for game data that we've collected over time, and we've created this database.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands of games, right?
Yeah.
Not even joking. Tens of thousands of lines of code.
That's so much.
With game data, all of the characteristics, pictures, all that stuff, right? We've gone out and gotten it on our own.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wasn't easy. It took us a long time to get it. Well, it took her a long time because she went out and grabbed it all. And there's a lot of work. So, but we want it to be ready for you guys, and that's a major part of this process, alongside what the development team is doing,
right? Exactly.
In their own little bubble,
yeah,
creating the actual infrastructure.
And the other piece to that too that I've been working on is like just coming up with the protocols and procedures for making sure that everything stays fresh, making sure we have like a content schedule, and making sure we have everything like there so that it's not stale, because we did a lot of research into other websites that have like tried to come up and stuff, and it's like, what happened, why did these things not work out before we even took on this project?
Right.
So one of those things that we're making sure we keep everything active and everything up to date, and we have mechanisms in place for certain types of folks to update certain things. We want to make sure we have space on there for all of your crowdfunding stuff, for example. So we're developing all of that. And anyway, without
we have a lot of ideas
away,
that
kind of like,
are going to provide you all, the users of the website, with a tremendous amount of tools and resources to really look at the games and find the games that make that most match with your type of gamer, right? Like, because we are all different types of gamers, we all have different interests, and we want the website to be sort of your guide. And that's our whole. It's not just a place to just dump data and for you guys to go, access data and sort data. It's going to be more of like, this is my home when it comes to board games. This is my collection. This is where I track everything, and where I get to see all the new good stuff coming out in a way that is easy for me to locate.
Right.
Like that's our whole goal behind this. And we hope that we're able to deliver on that, because we have extremely high standards on our own. Yeah. And for us to, I mean, this development company probably hates us because we have very particular things that we want, and I think they definitely have got their hands full, building out this whole platform in the way that we want it. Yeah. And
they have been doing a stellar job, though.
They've been fantastic. And we got to see the actual pages that are out there and mostly designed already. So this is getting close, and we wanted to touch on this again because, one, we don't want you to forget that it's still coming. Right. And two, we're getting close. It'll be this year. Yeah. Right. So we're getting towards the end of the year. So obviously,
it's gonna be good.
You're looking at like 2 months at the most when this thing should be out, and based on what we've seen, I think it should be. So it'll be right in time for you guys in the holidays to really to come explore a new space in our hobby, right? And what more exciting than that? Could you get?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of felt like we got to do a walkthrough while it's like almost
construction,
finished. And I'm like, I want to cook in this kitchen.
Yeah,
but none of the gas is turned on yet.
Exactly. So it's like, it looks pretty, but but everything is made of plastic. So it looks like a gorgeous fridge and counter, but you go through it and there's nothing. Yeah. So it's like,
they're still like wiring stuff up. So.
Exactly.
Anyway.
It's like some of those cities in some of those other countries that are cardboard fronts that they look like there's a lot of people living there, but there's not. We won't name which countries those are, but I heard there's countries out there that it's like that.
I have stories. Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah, enough on that. I think we just wanted to let you guys know it's still in progress, and if you know us at all, which some of you do know us personally, you know what high standards we have and how picky we are about things. So, it's we're not rushing this at all.
Yeah, there's no reason.
There's no reason to. We just want it to be right when it launches, and we know that it will have a place to go. Like, we have a trajectory of where we want this to go in the future, and when we launch, it's going to be kind of like version 1.0.
Version 1.0. It'll be functional.
But we're excited about what it's going to be when it launches, and then also where it's going. So
because it's definitely not going to launch where I want it to be ultimately.
Yeah, I know.
But it will become that at some point, and we're going to need a lot of support from everyone who's using the site, and that'll help us get it to become crazy good. I'm telling you, if we get it to where it needs to be, you will be like, this is crazy.
This is crazy.
I don't even understand what's happening. Yeah, it's just crazy. So, but in any case, that's our website, the Board Game Nexus. Stay tuned. That's coming soon.
Okay, so kind of along the same lines, as far as stuff that we're doing, we have been getting a lot of comments and questions lately about our name change and your brand, and like, what are you doing, and like, why do you keep changing stuff? And we haven't changed anything in a while. I mean, since we came back and we did How It Plays.
I think there's people out there who still don't realize we're back.
Or
haven't watched us in a while, and now they come back and like, what happened? Why is your name different? Like, why would you go and change your name?
Well, they're like, you still have the Geek Mavericks thing in the background, so because we
have the Antlab Games poster and the Geek Mavericks poster up. What?
Antlab Games thing.
Yeah, why would?
So here's the deal. This is, just break it down. break it down Barney style.
Yeah.
I'm almost done that book, so break it down real easy. We created Ant Games as an LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So after 6-7 years of doing this and you having the channel and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
we created an LLC so that Ant Games can continue to operate and do gaming related stuff, including the channel and maybe other things.
Yeah, who knows?
Going forward. So that just gives us a little bit of just structure from a business standpoint.
Yep.
How it plays, that we had been actually considering doing a name change for, I wouldn't say quite some time, but for a while.
Yeah.
Because we honestly grew out of, when Anthony started the channel, the name is a concatenation of his name. So he created this channel on his own. He did solo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I came along, hijacked the whole thing, and we really kind of changed the direction of where the channel
I
went.
wasn't going to call it Frant Lab Games because that's just,
It's just weird.
doesn't work.
So I know some people really liked that, though.
I know, but it just doesn't do it.
But
And you know, with the name though, here's the thing, and what we've always run into, even with the Ant Lab Games name, is people assume that's a game company.
Right, exactly.
Because it sounds like a game design or production company.
Right.
It doesn't sound like a reviewer, right?
Right.
So when you try to associate brand with what we
you
do,
Mm-hmm.
there was a very big disconnect there.
Absolutely.
And I think it confused some people, and it didn't make sense. But
this was
it
an
gained
opportunity,
popularity
really.
on its
Yeah.
own, no doubt. But I think it's terrible in the SEOs because you nobody's searching for that, right?
Yeah.
People are searching for how it plays,
Right.
and the fact that it wasn't taken
Was like,
well,
what? Guess that's what we're taking.
that's what we're doing, because it is the line we've said in our videos for years and years and years. You know,
yeah.
just take it to the table and show you how it plays. Like, that's been our line.
It was like it was always there.
Right.
It was always there, and we never really picked up on it.
Yeah.
So it was such a natural change for us when we considered like rebranding the channel piece of Ant Lab Games, that it was kind of an obvious choice.
It makes sense. So it fits,
Yeah.
and that's where it's at. So
Right.
the channel is how it plays. Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's owned and powered by Ant Lab Games,
Yeah.
but that's behind the scenes now. Like,
Right.
the brand is how it plays, and
Yeah.
that's where it will stay.
Exactly.
The brand is Geek Mavericks. That's a separate
Yeah.
brand and product under Ant Lab.
And what we do for Geek Mavericks, we started the podcast / we uploaded those podcasts as videos as well to kind of talk about stuff outside of board gaming.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like when we started it, we kind of we had left the space, and we really just wanted to talk about stuff that was like things that we talk about ourselves and with people, you know, that we talk to outside of gaming, like the shows that we're watching and the books that we're reading and all of that kind of thing. So because we were watching a lot of those things, we were reading a lot of stuff, you know, COVID kind of had everybody sort of locked down and doing a whole lot of, you know, just self-reflection. We ended up having a lot to talk about. So we kept those episodes going for a little while. We had the mentorship program, which we dumped a lot of time into, which we've talked about before. And Geek Mavericks is still up, and it's just a matter of us like having enough content to do episodes or talk about stuff.
Well, I would say having enough time to sit down and talk about the content, because
Yeah,
we've been watching our share of movies and shows. So
We have.
there's but
Well,
that's
we weren't
that's
for a
our
while, though.
Yeah, and that's like, we have a lot of stuff we could talk about.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of like what was happening is we would do those episodes, and it's like I'm pulling a lot of like B-roll from Netflix just to show clips while we're talking, and it's just a lot more work than I really wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So I think with Geek Mavericks, I think we want to keep it as a podcast.
Right.
Only.
Like not a
podcast
video thing.
only.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing a video and then bringing the audio into podcast and allowing it to be in both forms.
yeah,
But
right.
the video will literally just be us sitting in front of the camera talking.
Yeah, probably not like the B-roll.
No
and
B-roll
all that
whatsoever. It's just here's our podcast. Here's what we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
because we've definitely watched a lot of movies. I'd love to discuss
Yeah.
or at least tell you my thoughts on Dune.
Yeah.
Because we recently watched that, and I thought that was interesting. We watched Suicide Squad. That's another thing I'd like to talk
So we
about.
just finished.
We watched a ton of stuff on Netflix.
my goodness,
like
yeah.
it's ridiculous. We're watching Arcane now, which is the new League of Legends
Yes.
show. So that's
Yeah.
something we're getting into. And when that's done, I want to talk about that.
Right.
Like,
We finished the I'm finishing Expeditionary Force.
Expeditionary Force, you're
Last One,
finishing. So there's a lot of really good stuff we've been doing, and a lot of stuff we'd love to talk about.
Right.
But look, we're strong on balance, right? We balance our work, we balance our home life and family time, and we balance our videos, right? And that's what keeps us level, right? We're pulled in 1,000 different directions, and we want to be sure that everybody gets the right amount of attention. Whenever this gets too much, we kind of scale back, and now we go back in again. And that's always been sort of our pattern, but this has always been just sort of a side passion for us. It's never been like our goal to be, hey, we're this is our source of income. This is going to be where we want to be.
Or a certain like subscriber number.
I just never.
Never
The path was never for me to say, hey, what do you do? Well, I make board game videos on YouTube. Like that's just not where I see myself, and not where I think that's where our end game is, and that's just not. What I would love to say is, we run a board game website for the hobby, and we've got hundreds of thousands or millions of people coming through the website, a month. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's because again, like it's neat the impact that, not to like digress too much, but the impact that you even have doing something like this. For us, the value has always been in like, even when we had not as many subscribers, like maybe 10,000 subscribers, something like that, and we would get emails from people saying like, you guys changed my life. Like watching you guys enjoy what you do brought joy back to me in a way that I didn't think I could have joy brought back to me.
Or you got me through a really dark period of my life.
Right, exactly.
And,
or like, here's my kid in the hospital. They're, sick, but they love watching your videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whoa, I could have 5, those could be my 5 subscribers.
Right.
And like, I would feel like we have value of impact. So the more people we can touch with like the hobby, I think, not with us personally, but just like with the hobby of board gaming, I think that's really where our passion is. And that's why we're excited about what the website's going to do, because we're really targeting I'm going to say like the non-gamer, like non-hobbyists almost.
Yeah.
Like it'll be great for you hobbyists, but it will be even better for people that are just getting into the hobby and just want a place to feel like this is something that's accessible to them.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that feels comfortable. Like, so they go from their one website to our website, and it's an easy transition.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
oh, all right, this looks familiar to me. Oh, wow, there's a lot of guides that are going to hold my hand and really walk me through what this whole hobby's about.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And so it's not just come in and if you're here, you're an expert gamer, and you better know all the stuff, all the terms, all the things, and then you're on your own. Go figure out what game you like. We want to hold your hand. We want to bring you in. We want to say, this is what we have to offer based on what you've told us.
Yeah.
And these are what we recommend. Yeah, it's a very concierge experience for people who haven't been in our hobby. We want to expose this hobby to those who haven't been here.
Yeah.
And we feel that creating an accessible website that is user friendly in that aspect is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where we feel we can do our biggest outreach is through that, not through YouTube.
Yeah. So going back to your original point is just, we do try to strike this balance between all the different things we want to do and all the directions that we're being pulled in, and then where we see our impact and where we want to kind of do
where
our
we
work.
want our impact to be, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we could say, hey, you know what? We want our YouTube thing to be the thing, and let's focus on that. But in order to really focus on that, we have to, like I said, we have to sacrifice something else.
Right, and there's not much.
There's absolutely nothing else I'm willing to sacrifice. To do that. And I think where we are right now with the channel is a very sweet spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we've got a good groove going. We've got our sound issue figured out, so that's a big plus. And we've got sort of a schedule and a rhythm going. And I think as long as we continue to maintain that, I think we we're in a good spot because
for sure.
we're having fun with it.
It's definitely balanced. We have some other things going on in our personal life that we'll share.
Yeah.
Eventually,
we always do. We've always got
something
cooking. Yeah, it's just crazy.
But yeah, I actually feel really, really good. Like for the first time, I think in a long time, I feel like we've got a good pace. We've got a lot of good games coming in. We're getting ready to go to our first con in like forever, which we'll talk about soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And you're right. I feel like everything is like really balanced, and it's taken us a long time.
It's taken a long time to get us, yeah, exactly, to get the right focus.
But yeah, I think our focus is set, like our compass is set, and it feels good.
Yeah, because when you get into a space and you're trying to figure out what you really do want out of it, because you think you know what you want out of it.
Yeah.
And then you kind of reset yourself and you're like, what does this really mean? Like, what are we getting at here? Like, what are we trying to do?
What's our why?
Yeah. And so then we calibrated, and I think this is where we landed. And I think this is where we wanted to be all along.
Yeah.
And that's good. So
very good.
So that's
actually that is a great segue into our next topic, which is games that we have.
Oh, games. Yeah. So speaking of that.
So speaking of good grooves and lots of good stuff.
When we came back into the space, we hadn't been in touch with a lot of our old contacts at the publishers.
Yeah.
So you come back slow, but you know how to ride a bike. So you kind of hope that people haven't given up on you at this point. You're like, what is with you guys?
Spoiler, they didn't.
They didn't give up on us. Okay, so but when we came back again, when we recalibrated, what we wanted to do with our videos is really try to step it up a notch, right? We're always improving and trying to improve on what we do. And what we did was we tried to come up with a way that we could make your consumption of our videos more beneficial, right? To get the most out of it. Because if we just sit down and play a game, there's only so much you can glean from that.
Right.
And you understand basic turn structure. You don't really figure out what we're doing until the end when we do final scoring.
Which was something that we got a lot of criticism. Well, I don't say a lot of criticism, but it's something we noticed that, like, okay, we don't really explain how you win this game until the end.
Until the end.
You know.
So we've kind of created this whole primer that goes in the beginning of our playthroughs now that has been well received, right? And I think that's a really good thing that we're going to continue to do in all of our videos, even if it's a real short primer, or depending on the complexity of the game, a really long primer, right? So, but we want to treat every game we do a video for you with the utmost of respect and the utmost of thoroughness to continue to give you a correct display of what the game has to offer, like it or not.
Right. And I think, it's funny because when we started doing that, I don't forget if we do these walks. So like we just kind of like beat ideas off of each other, I guess, or whatever. But this is like how the primer is kind of like how I learn games. And it's also how I like to teach games, because I'm a like questioner. Like I like to know why we do things. Otherwise nothing else will stick. Right. So when I read the rule book, and I always talk about how I read the rule book cover to cover, and that's not exactly true, because I typically will flip around in the rule book and then read the whole thing, because I want to know the flavor, like I want to know what we're doing thematically, but then I want to know, like, how do you actually win this game? And then I work backwards. So it's like, okay, it's almost like how, like, if you ever do mazes, like when you're a kid, you're doing the mazes. I never did them start to finish. I always did them finish to start, because I'm like, well, obviously that's how you figure out how to get out, you know what I mean? So, but you figure out what's the goal. Okay, what do I need to achieve that goal? How do I get the things that I need to achieve that goal? And then you can kind of from there develop your strategy.
Right.
And when we teach games, I often find that when we just go through the rules, none of it really, like, you end up with people at the table that are like, so what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
None of it stuck.
And even playing games with family, we would teach the game as we used to.
Right.
And then we'd get halfway through the game and somebody would be like, hey, I didn't know that I was going to score points for that, or I didn't know I had to do that. Why didn't you tell me about that? And I'm like, maybe we didn't, right? Maybe we didn't. So now we start with, this is how you score points.
Right.
And this is how you play. Right. And then and a lot of it seems to stick that way. We don't know why. It just does. So anyway, pay attention to the primers. They're definitely going to give you more, a better foundation for understanding what we're actually doing in the playthrough.
Right, especially for some of those heavier games, more complex
Absolutely.
games.
So we've covered some doozies recently, which is good. They've been some nice, thick, heavy, chunky games.
Yes,
which is great for us because we love that, and I think that's what brings out sort of the best in us.
Oh yeah, I think
is when because the lighter games we tend to assume things just because the mechanics are so light. Or, we're like, oh, well, it must mean they're just to do this because that makes sense. But it ends up not being the case. We always end up making them more complicated than they actually were designed to be, which is just our fault because we expect them to be more complicated.
Exactly.
So, but that's our problem, really.
Yes. So that being said, games that we have coming down the pike.
Yes.
In that fashion. And in no particular order. I'm just like thinking of these sort of off the top of my head. I know we have Assassin's Creed is coming.
Yes.
Big Assassin's Creed.
Yes, the big one.
Brotherhood of Venice.
Very excited for that
I
one.
think.
Yep.
So
that one should be here this week.
Yeah.
It actually should be here Wednesday. But that's definitely going to get some time on the channel.
Yeah.
Very excited for that one. But we also have another variant of Assassin's Creed.
we do. We have Assassin's Creed. How do you say it? I say Stratago.
She calls it Stratego. I call it Stratego. Let us know in the
Stratego.
comments how you properly pronounce the game Stratego.
Stratego.
It's the old Milton Bradley game where you've got,
I say Stratago.
it's kind of like chess almost, but you have your
like
troops
if
are hidden.
chess and Battleship like had a board game baby.
It would be called
It
Stratego.
would be called Stratago.
So in any case, there's an Assassin's Creed version. I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm all in on that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna actually do that on the channel and a little bit
that'd be
different,
kinda cool.
little bit
Really
different
cool.
style. I have some ideas. I think we could really have some fun with that one. So definitely stay tuned for that. What else do we have on our list?
We have Imperial Steam.
Imperial
coming
Steam
up,
from Capstone.
From Capstone, and we also have Savannah Park
Savannah
from Capstone,
Park
which is a
too.
lighter part of our family series, part of Capstone's family series.
Yeah,
That'll
so
be a lighter
definitely
game
excited to get to those
them.
two for sure.
We have Magnate,
A Magnate, yes.
which was, I'll be honest, it's a game. I think it went to Kickstarter maybe last year, 2 years, a year and a half ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember. But it's out now. It's coming to retail, and was not on my radar at all.
Right.
Like, never saw a video about it. Didn't know anything about it, and we received the game and we're playing it, and it's just a very different experience than I had thought. So
you'll see our thoughts when we do the
yes,
playthrough.
I won't give anything away right
We are actually we're thinking of trying to do a 3-play again on that one.
now. Do that.
You'll know obviously when it publishes if we do it with 2 or 3. If we do it with 2 players, there's going to be an AI. There is an AI, so either way, it'll be a 3-player game.
If we do it with 3 players, it'll just be an I.
It'll just be an I, yes.
A VI, a virtual intelligence.
That is true. Right. Virtually here with us.
We'll see. But that one, the AI is a little like you have to think about all the things that they want to do.
Yeah,
It's
you
almost
kind of
like
have to
having
make the
a
decision.
person.
So it's definitely not like an AI that's going to just do.
I think it might be. It's going to be a lot more fun. I think with 3 people. So.
I think so too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we have that coming soon.
What else do we have? We have Backwoods. That one should be going out tomorrow.
Yes.
So you'll see that this week as well. It's a survival game. Mm-hmm. What else we got?
We picked up a couple at the game store.
Yes.
So we picked up Cora.
Yep.
We picked up Cascadia, which you call.
I call it Cascadia.
Cascadia.
It just sounds cooler.
And we picked up
Aquatica,
which
I also
you
call Aquatica.
Aquatica.
Yeah, so we have those, and it's funny because, like I said, we bought those, in sort of a lull where we didn't really have anything in our review queue.
We had like a month where we really didn't have anything going on, so we're like, we'll just
pick up a game. We didn't have anything in our queue that was due right away, so I'm like, hey, we could play an old game, or we can go to the game store, which is exciting. Everybody loves to go to the game store,
right?
And see what's out, and maybe buy a few games. So we went out, we bought these games, we got back, and within the next week, games started coming in.
Yeah, I know. It was like everybody wanted our time. So.
And now we haven't even touched those that we bought. But we're going to make a point. We have a queue to get through that we're talking about now. And then we'll get to,
we'll see.
Hopefully,
because PAX is coming.
Yeah, so this is what happens.
So
like
we'll
we
see.
get in this
maybe let us know in the comments of those 3 which one you'd be most interested in seeing.
There's even more because next, like I have, we had bought Imperium Classics. We've heard raving reviews from everybody who's played them. These games are phenomenal. They're excellent solo, and so we got it. We played a game of it, and I'm lukewarm on it. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it was kind of. I was expecting more. Not to give a whole review right now, but I was expecting more of a tableau builder, and this was more hand management.
I don't know, and I'm not sure if it's just that every society that you or civilization that you play is different, which we're gonna have to change that up and see if it does that.
We're gonna have to give it a couple more.
It was very bookkeepy to me.
And
I just think that it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just getting
Just get
lazy
old and tired.
in that at the end of a game to sit here and the way you were counting up the final score, I'm just like, man, this is like.
I know.
Right. So I don't want to go too deep into Imperium Classics. We'll
Yes.
definitely going to give it more time. We're going to figure it out. One more game that we had also picked up based on hype.
Yeah.
Was very excited to pick it up, very excited to bring it home, very excited to crack into it, and was as soon as I cracked into it and looked at what it was, I was kind of like, whoa, I thought this was going to be a little bit deeper than this.
Right.
So I wasn't immediately like wowed by what I saw. So I'm like, you know what, let me just set up, play it. I played it a few times solo while Frances watched.
Yes.
And based on my reaction to it, she had no desire to play with me at that point.
Maybe we could play a different game.
Yeah, so I cleaned it up and put it away.
And he put it on that shelf.
Yeah, so right there, Dune Imperium was insanely hyped. People even praise about it. I see even today, like I'll see people posting about how good it is.
Right.
I'm not there. I don't know what I'm missing. I've played it solo. Maybe I need to play it with 2-3 players. But to me, even at those player counts,
I read the rule book.
I'm still not seeing the allure of the game. Also, when we played it, I hadn't seen the movie yet, and I couldn't remember. Like I'd seen the original Dune when I was like a child, and I don't really remember how good that movie was.
Sting.
I remember Sting. That's it. Sting and a couple of other actors that probably aren't even alive anymore because it was so long ago. But I thought the movie was weird. I saw the new one. We watched Dune, the new version, the other day.
We're trying in the mood.
Yeah, so that actually got me in the mood to pick Dune Imperium back up again because, like I said, all the time I'd spent with it, I just could not see what the draw of that game was and where the reward was. And I just didn't feel like the deck builder was that robust, that portion of the game. It seemed like it was really just take worker actions and then do some area control in the middle every round. Like, that was it, over and over again.
Yeah.
The AI, I thought, was simplistic. I heard there's an app out that does the AI now that maybe is better. I don't know. Either way, I think I owe it another shot.
Yes, or a couple of shots.
I think we need to play it a few more times. But like I said, we watched the movie, so now I can at least relate to
which requires like a whole
the different
Geek Mavericks
houses
episode.
Yes, we definitely will do a Geek Mavericks talk about the first half of Dune. Because
the first half of the movie.
As soon as it went to go to the second half, credits started rolling, so I was a little bit confused there. So I don't know if there was a mistake or if we saw a different version, but I just don't remember seeing the end of that movie. In any case, I did enjoy the movie more than I enjoyed playing the game. So I really need to figure out what is going. If any of you can really help me out in the comments, I'd love to hear your opinions and before we actually get to that point. So there's a few games obviously we need to give some more time to. Okay. But in any case,
the moment.
Let's talk about the grand reason why.
What you guys all skipped ahead.
Yeah.
For.
So you probably went right to the timestamp and jump right to this section. So we are talking about PAX Unplugged in December of 2021.
Yes,
so
good point.
If we are beyond this con,
if you are from the future,
if you are future watching us, then you might as well turn this off because what we're saying now is irrelevant. This already came and went.
Yes, it certainly did.
Yeah.
And the winners have been selected.
They have been.
You missed it.
You missed it. Sorry. Yes.
Right. So we have, as we did in 2019, so the last PAX that we had was 2019, we gave away some tickets, and we have the opportunity to once again give away some tickets. So we had 5 tickets total to give away. We chose to already give away 2 of those to the Board Game Revolution Facebook page to then give to their followers.
Yes.
So we kind of re-gifted them.
Yes. So our personal favorite board game related Facebook group, Board Game Revolution, we figured let's see if they could find some folks in that community, that wonderful community that would enjoy trying to win a couple of tickets to go to PAXU. I said, we'll take the other 3 and give them out to you.
Right.
Our audience.
Because not everybody's watching our channel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So why not open it up?
We figured that might be a good way.
Let's spread the joy a little bit. Give some other folks a chance to win. We don't want to make it all about us all the time.
It's and honestly, this is one of our this is our favorite con. At least it's my favorite con.
It's mine too.
So we're always super excited to do this. We don't do a lot of giveaways, but this one is like, please get the tickets. Come back.
We
Come
love
say hi to us,
doing
like
this. Last time we went to PAXU, we got the same thing. Like she said, we gave away the tickets, and that was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
To be able to get 5 people an opportunity to come to the con for free.
Yeah, who may have not been thinking about coming to the con. I mean, tickets are $75.
Yeah.
If you're traveling, you've got travel costs and stuff like that. So hopefully this helps out, at least with that piece.
Yeah, it's enough to buy another game.
Exactly. Right? There you go. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so the important stuff.
Important stuff.
Okay.
Let's go to the
So
specifics.
I have created a form that you can use to give us your legal name. Has to be your legal name.
Yep.
Because that's what we give PAX. Your email address so that we can tell you that you won. So that's important. And then we want you to give us the name of the game you're most excited to play or to see or to demo at PAX. Not because it's going to influence our decision, but because we're nosy.
Because we're nosy, and we want to know where we should be heading when we get into PAX.
Yes, exactly.
And what games we should be looking at. So help us, help us do the research.
No, we're just kind of curious and want to get you guys excited about this. So there's that. A couple of parameters, so things to be aware of. Number one, we do need your legal name. You pick these tickets up at will call, so they're not transferable. You can't you're not gonna get the tickets and then go
So if the name doesn't
them.
match the name on your ID, you're not gonna get the tickets. So
the other thing is that this PAX is an all at this point, and I don't think this is changing.
Probably not gonna change. No.
An all vax, all mask
event,
and not like cosplay masks. Like you have to have your masky mask. So if you are either not fully vaccinated, you're not going to be vaccinated by PAX, or you don't want to wear a mask, or blah, 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 whatever. I would say probably don't enter the contest, because if you get the tickets, you're not going to be able to go.
Exactly.
So and you can't transfer them. So keep that in mind. We're not checking any of that stuff. We're not really qualified to do that. So just this kind of honor
I'm not
system,
asking you for proof of vaccination.
Yeah, we're not.
And I'm not going to sit there to make sure you wear your mask indoors. They have people to do that.
Yeah.
We're warning you so that you know that if you plan to try to go to PAX and you're not vaccinated, or you won't be by the time PAX starts, don't get the tickets. Don't go for the tickets, because you'll be taking the opportunity away from somebody else who can go.
Right.
Because you don't want to show up and then suddenly they won't let you in. So that's why we're making a big stink about this.
But if you want to go to PAX but not inside the convention center, you could go to Thirsty Dice and get some good food.
You could do that
play
too.
Some games.
You could absolutely do that, but I don't know if you want to travel all the way to Pennsylvania thinking you're going to get into PAX and then suddenly be disappointed.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to be able to get in.
But it might be worth the trip if you want to go to a game cafe.
Philly's a nice trip. It's a good trip, unless you live 25 minutes from Philly, in which case you're like...
And you're like, ugh, you're going to Philly again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like she said, if you don't think you're going to be able to get in the con, don't go for the tickets. That's all.
Yeah.
We're vaxxed.
Yeah.
We're going to wear the masks. We're going to be there.
Are going to be there because I am tired of not going to con.
Yeah, so this is the only con we go to anymore.
Yeah.
It's our favorite con, hands down. It's got everything and more than any of the other cons have to offer. And less of a drive, so it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly. So for us, all the Midwest cons that we go to, we've got to drive to. We've done them all for the most part, except for Essen. And this one's by far most organized. It's very nice. We're, if you think about it, very close to Europe, closer than a lot of other folks. Right. So we're sort of like a hop over the pond, so it's a lot easier sometimes for the Essen stuff to get here. And we end up seeing a lot of the games on demo are Essen releases. They may not be available for sale, though there is a booth. There was one last time that had several Essen titles for sale. They were able to get them over. So we'll see what happens.
You might be
Our
able
East
to get
Coast
lucky.
ports are open, so they're shipping to Philly.
Yeah, so
they're getting to PAX. So so just something to consider. I could talk all day about PAX, but if you have specific questions, if you've not been, you're curious about it, let us know, because we've been every year that they've held it. We have been there, and if you're flying in or something and you're staying locally, you have questions about how to actually get into the city, we have great public transportation, and I can help you with that too.
Yep, absolutely. We're here for your questions. So anything we can do to help. But so you heard it. The contest is live right now.
Yes.
If it is the day. Today's Monday, November 8th.
2021,
it will be live until Friday at the
Yes.
end of this week, which is the 12th?
No. Yes. 8, 9, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 4 days.
The 12th. So,
So late.
Friday the 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be selecting 3
winners.
lucky winners. The 2 winners from Boardgame Revolution will be sent to us. We will send all 5 names
Yes.
out to our contacts over at PAXU,
Yeah.
and you will be hearing from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you don't hear from us by Friday 8 p.m., you're probably not one of the lucky winners, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll put a post out either on the YouTube channel or on Instagram or something, so make sure you're following us there to let you know that the winners have been chosen. We won't be announcing the names of the winners just to protect your privacy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If we miss any critical details, let us know. But I think that's all you need to know.
It's all you should need to know.
To
So
get
it's all the tools you need to try to get a free pass.
Yeah.
And that was the whole purpose of this video. So
Yeah, exactly. We just had a lot of extra.
we just had a lot of things to
tell you
talk about, but hey, we like to talk. But in any case, good luck. Hope hope at least 3 of you win.
Yes, and come see us too. So if you see us
You
there at PAX, like we don't do a lot of like businessy business. We'll be doing some content and things like that, but you're never interrupting us. If you want to come say hi,
Yeah.
please do. Don't be shy.
Yeah, we're gonna be there for sure Friday and Saturday. May or may not be there Sunday. We don't always
Yeah.
go the 3rd day because we usually have walked the floor so many times.
No,
at
we
that
want to
point.
play all our games.
Yeah, we want to play. We get too excited. So, but we will be there for those 2 days. If you want to see us, drop us a line. We can try to meet you somewhere to say hi, or we'll be around the gaming hall. It's just we just walk around all day,
Yeah.
and then we go to Chinatown for lunch.
Yep.
So
It's a great day.
it's a great day. It's a great weekend. But otherwise, again, good luck, and you will hear from us on Friday.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, take care. See you. Bye bye.
See ya.